Price-wise, it's about the same as a Ferrari 360 or a Lamborghini Gallardo. But they're like fine wines, delicate and crisp and subtle. This is more like one of those cocktails that tastes like orange juice but blows your head off after 2 sips. And if you add water, you're going to wind up with some serious rum spin. The sad thing is that only 28 GTs are coming to the UK, and most will never see the rain. They'll be locked away in a family silver, only brought out for special occasions. I really can't see why. I mean, I am one of the lucky ones. I'm getting one of the 28. And I'm going to use it every day. I mean, why not? I've got loads of space, the visibility's very good, I've got air conditioning, the clutch is light, I can move the gear lever with one hand. It's great. I don't think I'll ever want to get out of it. I've run it out of petrol. That's how much I love it. I'm still not going to get out of it, though.
So, has it not got a very big tank, then?
No, 17.5 gallon fuel
tank.
And
you used all of that going around our track?
Yeah.
So, what does it do to the gallon, then, Jeremy?
4.
Sorry?
4.
4 miles to the gallon. Seriously, 4 miles to the gallon.
Ford say, though, that if I'd been a bit more careful, I might have got it up to 12 or...
Ooh, 12. You're not going to be careful anyway. Look at it. That's the whole point of the car. And actually, 17.5 gallon tank, 4 miles to the gallon. How far does that mean you can go? You'll be able to go in your car before you run out of petrol?
75 miles.
75 miles?
Yeah.
Well, how far then do you live, for instance, from the Top Gear office?
76 miles.
Actually, it gets worse than that, because you know how he said, oh, I never want to get out of it. James and I have had to think about this. We don't think he'll be able to get into it. Let me demonstrate. James, come on in. OK, now let's assume this is Jeremy's GT, parked in an ordinary multi-storey car park, anywhere you might see on an ordinary day, and James is parked up perfectly sensibly next to it. That's perfectly acceptable.
No, that is a very considerate piece of parking. I've left plenty of space. I haven't bashed this bloke's posh sports car as I've got out.
Not in any way. So, James got out of there, no problem. How are you going to get in there? For a start, you'll have to leave your shopping behind because there's no room in there at all.
You just open the door...
And get in your car.
And then you go...
You can't possibly get... Look, I mean, I'm sorry, the door has got a roof.
Yeah, you got to go...
No, it's just...
under the roof.
What has he bought?
Right, I think what's happened here is Jeremy has bought a car he can't get into.
Yeah.
If he could get into it, he couldn't go anywhere because he'd run out of fuel. And even if he could get there, he couldn't take his briefcase because it hasn't got a boot. He really hasn't thought it through.
No,
Jeremy,
and actually, I mean, let's just talk about this 4 miles. No, you see, Jeremy, that doesn't count.
No, you're not in the car.
It's not really a driving
You can't
position.
drive it with your buttons.
I just want to get back to this fuel consumption. 4 miles to the gallon. I mean, what does that work out at, like,
well,
in
that
time?
works. Let me just get my head around this. Fuel costs, that
Yeah.
means it's £1 a mile in fuel,
Yeah.
doesn't it? That's just in fuel.
Do you know, I was really, I thought it was hilarious when they announced that it was going to be delayed and he'd have to wait for his GT. I thought that was great news. Actually, it can't arrive quick enough and start ruining his life. I can't wait. I've got some old jerry cans on my Land Rover. You could strap those to it, made with fuel in.
Jealousy is a cruel mistress.
It's not as cruel as OPEC.
I think it's probably time to find out how fast it goes round our track.
Yeah, if you can get enough fuel in it to do a lap, obviously.
If we can do that, because the original GT40 was built to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. Now, this one has been built to beat that. Ferrari 360 CS. That's the Challenge Stradale, that's the one that's basically built for the track. So, we handed the Ford over to something else that drinks a lot of petrol. The Stig.
Away you go.
goes. Lots of wheel spin there. Now, of course, 212 miles an hour, this is much faster than the Ferrari, but that doesn't matter here. It's all about front-end grip. Going in nicely into the first corner. Whoa, bit of a slide. Okay, into Chicago once again. No, that nose is running wide. GT40 has 150 more brake horsepower than the Ferrari and twice as much torque, but it's American, so of course it won't be as good through the corners.
Come and go.
Right, here we go into the follow-through. Is he lifting? Yeah, saw the nose dip there. Is he lifted? And that is very fast. You have to say it does look absolutely fabulous out there as he comes up now to the second to last corner. First half of the lap, it was neck and neck with the Ferrari. Can he pull it out here now, going through Gambon? Ooh, plenty of sliding there and across the line.
Now look, it was never going to beat these two, was it? The hypercars, as we call
No, I
them.
mean, they cost 3 times more.
Yeah.
They're like £320,000.
But
This is the big one. Now, the producer of the show has actually bet me £5 that the Ford cannot beat that Ferrari. He says that it weighs a lot more and that because it's American, it doesn't do handling as well as a Ferrari. I argue that the sheer power of that is going to pay dividends.
I'm genuinely excited about
You
this.
don't know, do you?
I've no idea.
So it had 122.3 to beat. 121.9.
Whoa!
Yes! I'm £5 richer.
You'll need it.
£5 richer, which I shall put to the first gallon of fuel.